Sarnia Lambton.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank my colleague for an excellent speech. One of the things he didn't talk about in his speech is young people and whether or not they ever want to work globally. Because the fact remains that the United States, in addition to numerous other countries, have marijuana as being illegal. And so they are starting to ask in my border town community at this point in time whether or not people have ever smoked marijuana when they're going across the border. And if they say yes, they won't be allowed. And that will be true as well for other countries. Now, no one is talking about this, and it seems to me with the government having had this on their list for 2 years that this should have been part of the public awareness and education that would let young people know not only of the harms of smoking, but of the harms and the damage to their career potential. And I wonder if the member could comment on that.
Well, member for Cowichan, Malahat, Langford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank my honourable colleague from Sarnia Lambton for that question, because I think it points to a gaping hole in this government's approach to the cannabis legalization. I believe the Honourable Public Safety Minister appeared before committee, and he encouraged Canadians who go to the United States border to be forthright about what they have done, knowing full well that a positive answer to cannabis use may deny that person entry to the United States. And so that's one of the things that this government has to tackle, the fact that we are neighbours to a country which views cannabis in a very different light. If we are going to legalize this drug, to make it available to responsible adults, and we expect them to be forthright at the border, what is that going to do for the free movement of people and goods between our two countries, which is so vital to both of our economies? I have so far not heard a satisfactory answer to that. I believe it's a major contradiction that this government needs to address, and I certainly hope that the various ministers are taking this up at the highest levels in Washington to ensure that we reach some sort of an agreement, because right now the only way I can see Canadians possibly surviving this is to actually lie, because if they tell the truth, they are going to be prevented from crossing the border. It's going to have major effects on us. So I hope the government addresses that problem. I hope they actually provide a reasonable answer on what is actually going to be done to solve this very serious problem.
Resuming debate, the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister.